All right, good morning. It's day 148. And the last 2 days, the Rising Dynasty University posts have done really well. So I'm going to try to keep them going here, talking about today how you can't get too discouraged with even something as bad as a 50 to 60% drawdown, which is what we've experienced just recently with names like IREN, CIFR, and HUT. So I want to teach everybody this morning something that most people never learn. It's that the biggest money isn't made at the top of cycles, and it's not even made off of the first bounce when things start to come back. But I find it's usually after a stock survives some kind of like 50 to 60% drawdown, it starts behaving differently. And so here's what I have noticed. And this is the third class this week of Rising Dynasty University. So today's lesson is about how power law stocks reset. A power law is something I've talked about many times here in Rising Dynasty. So how do you train your eye to spot momentum when fear turns into structure? So let's talk about HUT, IREN, and CIFR as some live case studies to make this point. All right, the core lesson here is that in early November, all three of these names and other tech stocks really started to pull back. And these names were probably among the hardest hit. And there was no noise at the time, no shakeout, but a real 50 to 60% drawdown in a relatively short period of time. And that's when most people emotionally disengage. They stop watching, they stop learning. But professionals try to do the opposite. So the Rising Dynasty framework that you should use in these kinds of situations, there's one rule I want folks to remember, is that the drawdown itself is not the signal. And it's the behavior after the drawdown that is the signal. So what do you need to look out for? Number one, volatility starts to compress in these names. Number two, the lows stop getting lower. Number three is that the volume stabilizes. And then fourth, price starts respecting levels again. So that's not hope, that's the market repairing itself in these kinds of names. Okay, so here's how to apply these lessons and what we're seeing right now in these names for HUT, IREN, and CIFR. They're not mooning at the moment, and they're not breaking out wildly. It's just sort of like a steady coming back from the grave here. They're organizing. And that's how real upside begins. So the bottom line here for Rising Dynasty 301, or whatever we want to call today's lesson, is it's not about chasing candles. It's about recognizing that when the market stops screaming and starts whispering, that's when you want to pay attention. Day 148.